What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Happy Hump Day. Thanks for stopping by, your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. Good to see everybody filling into the chats real quick. Give a couple of shout outs real quick to our latest Patreons. I appreciate you guys and everything you do. And actually, with that being said, I wanted to actually announce a new program that I'm going to be doing because I got a lot of stuff coming up. I was just actually looking at this trip to Florida and trying to figure out whether I'm doing planes, trains, or bus mobiles. But they're all looking pretty expensive, and they've all got their ups and downs. But then I'm going to be gone from work for a month. So I got a lot of expenses coming up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new program. And every quarter, I'm going to take the top 10 names who have donated to the channel, whether it's on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee or Tip Jar or whatever you guys end up doing. And I'm going to take the top 10 names and I'm going to do a random draw with those 10 names and do something for you guys because I do appreciate everything you guys do. But anyway, we got a great show tonight. We're going to be talking POTA. So anytime we're talking POTA, it's awesome. Actually, let's just go ahead and bring out our guest and then we'll start talking about it. What's going on, buddy?
POTA.
That's right, man. What more is there, man? You've been getting a lot of activations for the beginning of the year so far?
No, I'm pretty much stuck to the weekends because the day job. But I am making the activations big. This last weekend I had 540 contacts in 2 days. So
nice.
making them count. So, and one of them was 255, and it was a 3-fer. So,
very nice.
It was good for the stats.
Yeah, and that's something that I am trying to concentrate a little more on. Last year, I really was just like parks. But this year, I'm trying to bring my QSO count up a little bit. I mean, not tremendous or nothing, but last year I'd be like, 15 contacts. Let's go do another park. 15 contacts. Let's go do another park. And I'm trying to get, 75, 100 contacts a park right now. And that's just something new I'm trying. And it's actually paying off because if you actually go to the 2022 activators and search by top QSOs, this guy's leading the pack.
I was number 5 last night, and VE3 THR, my activation buddy, was number 9. So
nice.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. But yeah, I'm actually working on 15 kilos concurrently. So it's all about just set up at the park and work them as long as I can on as many bands as I can. So I'm my current plan is this is my winter project. All my local parks, just stack them all up, get them to like 980, 985, and then do a 1-day robe and kick them all over the kilo in 1 day. So just a little side achievement for myself, right?
Yeah, you were telling me that, and it kind of inspired me a little bit. I'm not going to do nothing because you're working on something like 15 kilos or something, and mine's a little stretched out for that. But I'm thinking that I'm going to do like a video of like 3 kilos in a day. I think that would be a pretty cool video.
Yeah.
So I've kind of picked out 3 that I've got going to do because I'm trying to do more exciting videos than because last year I try to film every kilo I get, and sometimes it's raining or it's cold and I'm in the car and it's just not as exciting. So I want to get more action, because I get a lot of action, but I want more video. I'm trying not to film so much of video of car activations and stuff like that because it's kind of boring.
Yeah. We got some interesting pictures from the beginning of our activation on the weekend. We actually, it was, it started out -6 Celsius. And by the time we were done, mid afternoon, it was -19 or something, but it felt like -25 Celsius, and we were in basically a wind tunnel. And we had tied it was an ice fishing hut. We had tied it to a concrete pillar of a bridge, and it was basically being blown around the pillar. And we were like holding the table. The last handful of QSOs, we're leaning on the table, trying to log QSOs and operate the radio. Batteries are falling over. It was pretty exciting, but I won those extra 10 QSOs. And then we are like, okay, guys, there's a pile up still, but we got to bail. The weather's just not doing us any favors. So it took Tom and I quite a bit of effort to get everything packed up and on the wagon. And because where we were, we couldn't drive to. We had to. It wasn't that far of a walk, but it was under a bridge, so it was a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, it can get exciting sometimes when the storms move in. I remember last April when I was down in Florida, I just got everything set out, and all of a sudden it starts raining. And I'm good with rain. I'll activate in rain just fine. But about that time, I heard a big crack of thunder, and I start looking up, and I look at my lightning app, and it is on top of me. So I'm running out, and I got the Wolf River Coils out there, and I just grabbed the whole thing and just run underneath the pavilion with the antenna, and disconnect everything. And I sat there for like almost an hour waiting for this storm to pass, and then did the activation. But yeah, it can get a little crazy at times.
Yeah, it definitely can.
So man, this weekend, support your parks weekend. I don't know what the weather's going to be like up there. It's supposed to be really cold here, but I plan on. I was looking at maps today, and I can't really decide. Of course, I know I'm going to go out Friday night and do a park or two, but Saturday morning, I'm trying to. I'm throwing around a couple different ideas. I can go up to the Panhandle, West Virginia, and I got a little route that I did when I was doing all the parks in West Virginia, and I did 9 up there in a day, and I've got that one. But I was looking, and there's a nice little string down in Virginia that I might could get 7 or 8, and them would all be new parks to me. And then there's also a nice little string over in Kentucky that I could do 9 or 10. So I'm kind of undecided on what I'm going to do Saturday.
So you're gonna go for a rove?
I'm definitely going to go for a rove, okay. But I'm not going. I'd like to get to 9 or 10, but I'm not going to turn away contacts. If I'm getting contacts, I'm staying. Which I typically always do that, but yeah. I'll wait for a little short bailout and I'll bail. And I've been hanging around a lot more and trying to concentrate on some more QSOs and stuff like that. But I still like getting my parks.
Yeah.
I got my goals for this year. I'm right. I want 200 parks this year because I did 153 I think last year. So
it's really good. I'm up to 65 unique parks. I got a few more on the Christmas weekend, but now I'm just concentrating on going back and hammering on these kilos. So I'm Saturday. I might go out Friday night to one of my. So I have essentially all 15 of these parks that I'm working on kilos. The farthest one is an hour and 10 minutes away from me, and then they start getting progressively closer. So I basically have a string north and then a string west of me. So, and I have to go around some lakes, so there's a little extra driving, but I'm planning to just go and set up early and work 20 in the morning. That seems to work for me. work 20 minutes in the morning. I've had good luck getting, occasional EU and Azores on 20 in the mornings, and then I'll switch to 40 in the afternoon, and I just hammer out the contacts maximum count. And then I'll go to a different park on Sunday and do the same thing. That's kind of my plan, is just build up those stats, because I need, in order to do the 15, I have one that's a double and one that's a triple. So it's really 12 locations. I need something like what's that, 40, based on my counts right now, I need 40 more activations at 225 minimum contacts per activation. And I'm trying to get this done by the middle of April, and I don't have 20 weekends of 2 days each to do. So I got to start killing it. So that's what I'm doing this weekend, is just go out and sit in one park all day, and then go do another one. So I might go do a bonus park, one of my really close ones that is accessible 24/7. Obviously abiding by the park rules as far as open hours, and not breaking the rules there. We have a couple that they're 24/7 because they have an inner and an outer parking lot. And one of those is like 15 minutes from my house. So I can usually go out in the evening and plug that one away. So yeah.
Really quick before I touch on that, thanks to James Jenner for 10 slices of pizza, and thanks to Evan for 5 slices of pizza. I appreciate that, guys. Sorry, I wasn't watching my phone as soon as it went off, but I appreciate that. And I'll be giving a tally every week on where everybody's standing in that little program that I'm doing. But I've got most of the parks around here. I mean, even the ones that say they close at a certain time, they don't really close. I mean, I've been in Chief Logan Park at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and never had an issue. I've had state troopers go by me. I've had because actually Chief Logan Park, you can actually take a shortcut and drive over the mountain and go to the 4-lane from Logan. So I mean, a lot of people will use that. Now they do sometimes close that over the mountain road in the wintertime, but a lot of people will use that. And actually on top of the mountain there is a really good place to activate.
Yeah. We have some that are actually gated, and the parking is inside the gate, so they'll kick you out. But we have a few that there's split parking, and we've so my local club here in Barrie, we have 6 or maybe 7 real active activators. We got another handful of active hunters, and we've all had some pretty good interactions with our local park personnel. We do things like we go and we pick up garbage. People leave garbage. They just leave it out the door, in the parking lot. And it's it's a parking lot. Don't do that ever. But to do that in the park is extra insulting. So I always carry trash bags and disposable gloves with me, because there's always trash to pick up. And that's led to some really nice interactions with some of the staff, and they appreciate that. And they see that we're not there causing destruction and damage, and we're actually helping clean up. And so the ones that are technically closed at dusk, well, dusk here is 3:30, 4 o'clock right now.
Yeah.
And they're like if you're out here in the outer parking lot and you're sitting in your vehicle because it's minus 20, they leave you alone, and they come over and say hi as they're leaving, and have a good night kind of thing. So some of our parks are a little more flexible that way, and then some are, all right, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, we're going home, so you get out. But even they're polite about it, and they know us. In fact, one of the park attendants, we've actually one of our other activators put him on the air on Simplex, and I talked to him as I was driving in. So we're trying to get him interested in getting his license. But yeah, it's you have to go with the obviously there's the hard and fast rules. Like Hayden says, a lot in Maryland are gated, so that's a pretty strict rule. But a lot of them are they're willing to work with you. So it's just don't abuse the relationships. Build relationships with the park staff. Don't abuse those relationships. Don't take advantage of things. And when you have an opportunity to help out, pick up some garbage, even if it's just a water bottle somebody dropped, do it. It takes 2 seconds. I've been this way. Like I pick up. I have a lot of friends and family military, so it's FOD, foreign object debris. But do FOD walks, like walk around, just 25 steps from your vehicle, and you're probably going to find some trash to pick up, or a big twig to move out of the parking lot. Like, you do little things like that, and it can get you a lot of goodwill with the staff and even other park goers.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And thanks to someone who bought me a slice of pizza, guys. Please, if you don't want me to say your name, you can put that in the note. But at least leave me in who you are. That way, I know who's actually donating. But thank you to someone who bought me a slice. Yeah, that's like Florida. Most of those parks are gated and stuff like that down there. And I was kind of looking at the map today, and I'm going to get up with Bill. Everybody knows Bill, and activating Mister. I'm a leading in parks and activation right now. But me and him supposed to at least do an activation, if not a road together while we're down there. But I'm gonna get up with him and find out exactly what ones I can get after dark, because I'm used to working after dark. Now, I mean, when I'm down there, my schedule will be totally different, and I'll be doing a lot of daytime activations because I'm not going to be at work like normal. But for when I want to do one after dark, I need to know. I know there's one. It's on the old fishing pier there that's open 24 hours, and I really want to do that one this time because I didn't get it last time.
Yeah, that'll be great. And this is my office where I work, my day job, and my radio is right here. So when I have a chance, usually mid morning, lunchtime, mid afternoon, I take my what people would call smoke breaks. I quit smoking a long time ago, but I take my little breaks and I'll look at the photo page and I'll spin through and see if I can hear anybody. Unfortunately, I did not get Barbados today. I could not hear them. But I'm going to keep looking for that one. But yeah, I mean, I've got you a couple times during the day or late in the afternoon, and I will hit anybody. I am so Vance N3 VEM, who just joined chat. He's been talking about the Bailey Sprott challenge with the hunt a park a day. I messed up from the get go because I took I did 9 or 10 days straight over Christmas holidays of activations, and we're not talking 10 and out activations. Like I think it was 800 contacts in 9 days. And some of those were new to me parks that I had to go and find where to set up and all that. So I took the first off, just a little break. So the best I can get this year is 364. But I'm still trying to get, hunt a park a day. So
Well, see, that is my problem. I wanted to hunt a park a day, and then last weekend, last Thursday, I left work, and it took me like 3.5 hours to get here because it snowed so bad, and so that messed me up on my getting a park for that day.
yeah.
And but luckily I had activated the night before on night shift, so I kept my activation streak because I got it after 0-0.
That's good. Yeah.
And and then I went ahead and activated. I got out and activated, the very next morning, and so I'm 100% on activating every day right now. Actually, most days, two 2 and 3 a day. But that's going to be hard, man. Because I mean, just one bad day where it's just lightning all day long or anything could that hunting it. Not that it ain't hard, but activating is going to be hard for me. But I said, well, I've got it so far, so I'm just going to try it, and I'll just go until I miss one.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you do miss one, like again, I started off, I didn't even get January 1st, but I'm not letting that deter me from okay, I'm gonna hunt all the days I can. So like activate all the days that you can. Don't sacrifice your health. Don't do something stupid and drive in ice or But it's I find that POTA gives us opportunities. Yeah, there's awards and there's certain achievements you can get that are official like kilos and late nights and repeat offenders, those kinds of things. But I'm enjoying the fact that there are quite a group of us who are making up our own achievements that fit what we want to do. Um, I like to have goals. Um, I when I play computer games, I like ones that have achievements, and I go find the weird achievements to go do. Like World of Warcraft, it was go and pet like 50 different animals, and sometimes you had to wait 4 days for it to appear, right? Like I look for the weird ones. uh and so far as I know, nobody's, and I can't say kiloed in a day because I'm not doing a kilo in a day, but as far as I know, nobody's popped over a kilo on more than a triple, right? I don't know that anybody's done like 4. So I'm thinking if I chase 15 entity kilos at the same time and then I go pop them all over, that's something special to me that I know I did something interesting. And it also means that I'm not going to the same park to work on the kilo. I'm still not, I don't like going to the same park, activation after activation after activation. That to me isn't fun. So I like going to these different parks and I can pick depending on weather and timetable. Do I drive that hour and 15 minutes to that park, or do I go to the one that's 15 minutes down the road, or the 20 minutes across town? So it gives me some flexibility to play with weather and all of that. So I like that. You've created your own set of achievements and challenges for yourself, and things like Bailey Sprott. Quite a few people are getting involved in that because it's something that's accessible. Um, so, and for me, the 15 kilos at a time, and then of course in the summer I'm going to be doing some traveling, and I'm going to try to activate, and I would like to try to get a kilo in each province in that I visit. So like in 2 months, in the summer of my trip, I am hoping to get it's 6 or 7 kilos in the span of 2 months. And that works for me because I'm gonna be working while I'm traveling. So I'm gonna have to stay somewhere for a week to be able to have, good internet and be able to do my day job. So before work, lunchtime, after work, middle of the night, I'm just gonna be, churning out all the contacts I can and hope that in the week or so or 9 days that I'm at a particular place, um, I'm gonna make sure obviously I'm camping in a potable uh entity. I'm hoping that I can get that kilo in that park because I would just like to when I'm going to go to these provinces. I just want to have a kilo from a park in each one, and then there's going to be there's a few at-nos that I'm looking at that I want to activate, but that'll be I'll be there for an hour, and what I get in an hour, whether it's 20 or it's 100, um, you know, so those are the special achievements that I'm designing for myself that fit with what I'm doing and uh, obviously keeps my wife happy. She doesn't want me to POTA every single day, um, just because apparently she likes hanging out with me on occasion. I don't know why. She's a little weird.
Yeah, my beautiful wife here, she likes to hang out with me too.
So.
But no, yeah, I get it, dude. You got a lot of people set goals for themselves, and POTA, and just what makes it so much fun. Because I've got so many hunters that are working on different things with just me. Like
Yeah.
hey, I need 10 more to get operator to operator, And I got one guy. He's like, "Hey, I'm about to get a repeat offender to Chief Logan," and I'm like, "Good deal, man." I like, and when they reach it, like somebody told me the other day, said, "Hey, thanks very much for the operator." I said, "All right, now let's get 100," you know, because I don't want them to stop hunting me just because they got operator to operator. And it's like somebody got the repeat offender in Chief Logan. I said, "All right, now go for the Fox's Den." I was like, "You'll get it because I'm going to do Eagle's Nest there this year. That's 100. So I'm going to
Yep.
be in Chief Logan at least 60 more times this year. So
By the way, we need 12 for me to get a operator with you.
12. Okay.
I think. Well, is it 12 or 22? Hang on, maybe I can't do math.
I don't think it could be 22.
No, it is 22. We only
Is
have
it?
28. Yeah, we only have 28.
Wow. I would have thought. I would have thought
Uh,
more than that.
yeah, Vance, we might need to check that. I kind of feel like that might be wrong.
Yeah, and since Vance is in there, I think something Vance should think about is we got the kilo, but I think we should have a 10K award, for a park.
It's I'm guessing I'm not going to speak for Vance or any of the other POTA crew since I just joined the crew. But I'm guessing that was probably something that they didn't really imagine happening. I know that whenever I talk to any of them, everybody's so excited about the sheer numbers of people hunting and activating. And when I started, I've been doing POTA for exactly 6 months and 10 days.
Nice.
Yeah, Scott, Kilo November 3 Alpha. Yeah, 5K is an achievement, and maybe a stage kilo is something that that the team can talk about. Um, but I've only been doing it for Vance saying it's been discussed, but may or may not have made the cut. Well, maybe as we go forward, it might that cut line might change.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not
but yeah,
saying every 1,000. I'm just saying maybe a 10K. I'd like to see a 10K because I will hit 10K in Chief Logan. I guarantee it.
yeah, yeah.
Because
So
I'm close to 3K now, and I've still got like 50 activations left before I get Eagle Nest. So
cool. It's like I concentrated on the N1CC because I have a local crew of avid hunters, and they all want to repeat offenders. So they were willing to work with me, and work on those 3x3 level signals to get 10 or 12 bands at the park. So every park I go to, I'm trying as many bands as we can. Sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't. So I'm 1 or 2 parks short of my second N1CC activator.
oh,
And
nice.
yeah, at just over 6 months, that's a little nuts. And I'm 1 band or 1 park or 2 parks short of hunting and my first hunting N1CC as well. So I just been finding things it gives me levels, right? And I set some levels for myself when I first started that at my first year, which will be Canada Day weekend, that's July 2nd, will be my 1-year POTA anniversary. I wanted to have 10,000 activator QSOs, and I'm looking at, well, if I do this 15 kilos, obviously I'm going to blow by that. So, and I wanted to activate, I'm trying to activate 100 parks, 100 unique parks by that POTA anniversary. I may or may not get that because I'm at 65 now. And because this trip, in order to do the kilo in every province, I'm not going to be able to stop at every atno along the way,
Right.
because I have to work while I'm traveling. If it was pure vacation, I'd do 5 parks a day every day the whole trip, and my wife would probably tell me to go take a hike off of one of the cliffs, but it's a wonderful way to see the scenery too. It's like, hey, hun, we can stop at every beach along the way. And she didn't
Yeah.
buy that, but I did try.
Yeah.
But yeah, so about this weekend though, what are you doing? You're just doing a rove, and are you going to go into a different state?
More than likely, yeah, because I can get to that Virginia Rove or the Kentucky Rove quicker than I can get up to the Panhandle and do those parks up there.
Right.
Uh, and probably a lot cheaper in gas because going to the Panhandle, I have a V8 that gets about 12 miles to the gallon in West Virginia. But if I'm going interstate out of West Virginia, it gets a lot better. So uh, I, I'm thinking Virginia, maybe Kentucky for Saturday. I'll be back here Sunday because Sunday we're supposed to get another snowstorm, and I want to be back around here local. But I'm thinking, one of those two states to get some more unique parks added to my list because it's been a while, since I got to, once I hit the 100, your next one is 200 unique parks, and there was only 128 in West Virginia, so I'm sitting at I think 160 ish or so right now.
Wow. Well, yeah.
So I need
I'm working on that 75. That's my next level for unique parks is 75.
I need 40 more for my next award for that. But yeah, I always go big for support your parks. Last time that's actually how I know about the 9 parks in the Panhandle can be done in a day because I did that. It was a little crazy for summer or for fall support your parks. I activated Chief Logan that night. Came home, and I got home a little late because I didn't even get a good start. And I came home, and I wasn't really tired, so I said, I'm gonna get my stuff ready. I'm gonna go on the road tomorrow, and I get my stuff ready. And by this time, it's about 1 o'clock, and I'm like, it's a 6-hour drive. Let's just leave. So no sleep. I just leave, and the next thing I know, 7:40 something the next morning, I'm setting up my first park, and there I go. And I didn't get home till like 2 o'clock 2 or 3 o'clock that morning, and I was tired.
Yeah. For me, I have this problem. I get so excited. Like there's that song I want to say from the 80s, Working for the Weekend. And that's totally, it's like working for the weekend, aka POTA time. It's like the problem is I can never go to sleep on Friday. Like I know I want to get up at like 6 o'clock so I can get to a park and be set up at 7:30. But I can never go to sleep, so I fall asleep at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm dragging the whole day. So it's like it's because POTA's fun. POTA's it gets me out of the house, and it's just it's and working from home. I've worked from home quite a bit in my career, but right now it's for specific reasons. Um, working and having ham radio and the hobby stuff, and now that I'm part of the dev team, working on POTA back end a little bit, it's all right here in this seat. So you need something outside, and I'm still in the process of moving, and I don't have all my tools here yet, so I can't go tinker in the garage. So and I can't. VE3 THR has been really nice to me, and that lets me go over to his garage. And we've built some antennas, and done a few projects that are POTA related. Um, but you can only impose on your friends so much, for as far as tools and garage time. So it's POTA's POTA's kind of helped me keep my sanity the last year, I guess. Or the last half a year since I've been doing it. But yeah, I see no reason to stop. It's just there's always something new. There's always new parks, new levels of achievements, and there's a few months ago, it was, I had you and a few other, obviously the HA train, and a few other contacts that, you know, you're working on operator level awards with, but now it's like, I can't even name you all the ones that I know I've got 15, 20, 25 plus contact with because every time you go out, and some of them are chasing on multiple bands, right? So, it's
Exactly. Like I have developed such amazing relationship with POTA hunters since I've started doing POTA. It's just I can remember when I very first started doing POTA, like if I got to a park and it was in under an hour before late shift, I waited till late shift because I'm like, I can't get 10 contacts in this hour. I can't do it. And
Yeah.
like
Now it's
this evening, I did a park in Charleston, and then I got back this way to do a late shift, and I was like, I've got 12 minutes. CQ, CQ. And in 12 minutes, I had like 28 contacts, and then late shift started, and I ran it up over 100.
yeah,
But
yeah. Now it's like I was early on. One of the little achievements I wanted to try sometime was, could you go to an Atno and do a kilo in a single UTC activation? And 4 or 5 months ago, when I first started talking about it, not a chance. But I'm thinking like this summer with our growth rate and the number of new call signs I get at every activation, I'm willing to bet that this summer that could potentially be a reality where people could go start at UTC 00 and go to UTC 2359 and potentially get a kilo. And that excites me that there's enough hunters and the bands are opening up enough that you could potentially get 1,000 contacts in a single 24-hour activation.
shout out to KD8KEN. He's in the chat, and he said he had a good time working me at 3 different parks today.
I assumed he was talking to you and not me.
Yeah.
Ken, we're both James.
And mind you, that's after a full day of work, people.
Hey, Tom, my POTA buddy VE3 THR joined and is telling me to ham harder.
Hey, you know what? You guys were at your club meeting the other night.
Yeah.
And I was activating, and it wasn't long. It wasn't long, and you got me. And then maybe a couple minutes later, he got me. I'm like, they're at the same place.
Yeah, I messaged him while we were in our local club meeting on Google Meets, and I was like, PZN's at it on it was 80 meters, right?
Yeah, 80 meters. Anything after dark in West Virginia right now is 80 meters.
Yeah, it's Tom and I used to go out on Wednesdays to one of our local Wednesday evenings after work. Well, my after work, he's retired. But we used to go out on Wednesday to do POTA in the middle of the week, and when the time changed, it just got and the weather started changing. It just got really hard to get the contacts. But I'm thinking that I might go out and just start trying 80 meters.
The only problem with 80 meters is dealing with the people who's normally on 80 meters. I mean, just like tonight, you got a couple of guys come on there, and I've dealt with these guys before. And, again, if you ask me, you can say, hey, I want to have a QSO with this guy, and I like this frequency. Do you mind to move? Absolutely, I will move. But when you just start demanding or pushing or something like that, nah. But these two guys, they do the same spiel every time. They'll get on there and be like, do you hear something on this frequency? I don't hear nothing on this frequency. Knowing, there's a whole big pileup going. And the problem is they tried that right before late shift, right as it was dying down, and then about that time late shift hit, and my hunters just blasted them out. Yeah. So it was great.
Yeah. I've actually got a couple of recordings that I know were intentional. Any hobby, anything you do in a computer game, you're always going to get somebody who's messing with you. Ham radio, it's always been around. So it's just any hobby, any hobby. So it's just I try to just ignore it and move on. And as Vance says, yeah, move because I need to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what that word is, Vance.
That would be goiter.
Goiter.
And absolutely, Vance. Yeah, 100%. Sometimes I they'll get on there and they'll key up for like 35 minutes and stuff like that. And basically when they're doing that, I just apologize to my hunters. I'm like, sorry, the colonoscopy crew is keying up right now, but I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah. It generally all it does is really slow down your rate of QSOs, and you might miss that one those hard that those ones that would have been challenging anyways. You
Right.
might miss those. And all I, so far all I found is it just slows down your QSO rate, which okay, it is what it is. But like anything else, you can't pay attention to them. Uh, and it's sad. And a lot of those people are like, there's nobody on the air. I can never make QSOs because nobody's ever on the air. And then, literally there's thousands of people on the air every day now. And it's like, you know,
These people are
it,
taking my frequencies.
yeah. It's like, make up your mind, you
And
know,
again, I have no problem moving for somebody. I had a guy, one of the most polite guys ever. He heard me activating. He throws his call sign out. I notice his call sign. I pick him up. He gets in my log. He said, "Hey, I got a question for you." And I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "About 10 minutes. We normally do a net on this frequency. Do you mind QSY?" I was like, "Absolutely not. No problem." He thanked me, and you know that's just the end of it. I have no problem. I'll move for anybody, but I won't be ran off.
yeah. Hey, Molson. Yeah, I actually had one that it was a backup net control that came on, and it said, "Hey, there's a net starting. It's in like 10 or 12 minutes. No big deal." Um, I said, "Yeah, no problem. I was gonna switch bands, so I'll just not a big deal. I'll just stay here, and then I'll cut off a minute or so." I said, "But if anybody shows up early for the net, they're welcome to work me." And I think I got 5 or 6 of the net people, including the backup net control. Um, so I've had both. I've had both experiences, and it's it is what it is. I've never intentionally checked into a net at doing a pod activation. I try to. I've never actually checked into an HF net intentionally ever.
Well,
Um, but
I didn't check into a net, but my first contact of that morning that I did that early morning thing is one of my good club member buddies. He actually is one of the operators of the early bird net, and I was scrolling through and I heard him, and maybe it was a different activation because it was earlier than that because it was like 6 something, and I threw my call out and got him, and but that's about it. And it is good to see Molson out there because you were talking about doing a kilo, in a UTC day. Uh, Me and Molson kind of got a bet. If he can do a kilo in his first 7 activations, I'm going to do one in a weekend. So, and I'm really pulling for him to do that.
yeah. I've actually Molson's actually got me in a couple of activations. I think we've hooked him. He's fighting, but he will join the POTUS side eventually. So
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I made the bet. Because I figure if I can get him out there 6 more times, he's going to be hooked by then. But yeah, I was actually doing an activation. No, I was set. I had been doing an activation, and I was at my second park, and I was setting up, and I seen Molson throw out that he was on a frequency, and I actually hunted him from the Poda Park last weekend. I was in Kentucky then, so
yeah, and I found the, I'll call it the Clubhouse gang, but there's several different clusters of around the YouTube channels and toads and whatnot. Um, it's always nice to hear people that, like, when I work you or I work Molson or Izzo, um, you know, um, it's a little extra special for me. It's like when I work my local, um, like I was in Delaware. I lived up here for 10 years before, so I knew Tom THR,
right,
um, and I didn't have that HF privileges then. And the only thing I really did with the guys here was talk in the repeater and grab coffees and field day. That was really my only interaction with them besides the monthly club meetings. So I was activating a park in Delaware, on my way down to do that rove with the Line Hawaiian. Um, back last summer, and THR VE3 THR popped up, and it was that little spark of excitement that, oh, that's somebody I actually know in person, and so it's like I always say on every stream. Eventually, I'm hoping my dad hunts me at an activation, because I've never had an HF QSO with him either. So it's just the clubhouse and those friends you have. It's just a little extra fun, and I'm thinking of like starting a list of all the clubhouse members. Um, how many of them can I work in a single activation, or how many of them find me, or how many of can I hunt, uh, you know, and just start. Okay, I got Izzo, once a month all year, kind of thing, right? Like
Right.
just because, like I said, I like these interesting little
Yeah,
metrics and stats.
I like doing that too. Like I have a thing for. I like to. If you're another YouTuber, I want to work you. And every time I get a new YouTuber, it is kind of exciting to me. Even if I've talked to you a million times on YouTube or this, that, and the other, I want to work you. You know, and that's like VBR. He worked me 2 times one Sunday. And that was the first time I'd gotten him, and that was kind of exciting, because I'd never even talked to him personally at all. And I think he's in my log box 3 times now. But I've worked Daniel in 2 different states. I've worked Izzo in a couple of different states. So
Yeah, exactly. So, and of course, there's hopefully when things are a little more open, I'm hoping to go and do an activation with Izzo and go and do an activation with you and KMRD, right? Because now these people I know and we work each other and we hang out on the streams and in chat together, and I'm going to go over and kick Molson's butt. Um, so yeah, some of the calls I don't recognize, like KB9 VBR. It took a few times, but now I catch that, right.
right.
Eventually, I'm just going to have a cheat sheet, stuck to my laptop of, here's the people you should recognize.
So. Yeah. So sometimes I don't recognize people. That's just like my very first contact on HF was KE8 ENC. And what made that a special which it was a 2 meter contact. My first amateur contact. But what made that special was his first contact in amateur radio was my dad. So that really made that special. But he actually worked me at a park the other day, and he threw his call sign out, and I actually had to look twice. And like, oh, Tristan, what's up, man? Yeah. Because it kind of shocked me, And then I've got certain people that work me so many times, I can hear them say a single letter, and that's what I really like about doing late shifts, because the initial roar where I used to panic trying to figure out what to say, the initial roar now, I can normally pick about 5 calls out and then just go straight down that list, right off the bat. And I love that.
Yeah, it's whenever I hear that Hotel Alpha, it's like, okay, was that Kilo 2 or
was
November
that
5?
Was that Kenneth or was that Frederick?
Yeah. And so some of these guys, like, I know it's not technically proper QSO, but some of them I know them so much, like Brian Duddy.
November 2, Bravo Tango Delta.
I forget to say his call sign back, which is official QSO. I just say, hey, Brian, you're 5'8" or you're 5'9". He's just over on the other side of the lake from me in New York, right? So usually we've got good signal, but yeah, it's like Papa Bravo Echo there mentions one of the Azor guys. I'm starting to recognize their calls, and I know when I hear a faint, for some reason I don't pick up the Charlie uniform at the beginning. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hear that Hotel Yankee or that Bravo Lima, yeah, or there's a third one I've gotten, I'm starting to recognize now. I'll stop because they're usually quieter. I'll stop and I'll work them, because if they've got an opening to me, I want to get them. It's like Tom and I got a station from France, and I was just so dumbfounded. I swore it was, uh, whiskey foxtrot, which I don't even know if that's a valid prefix, but I swore it was whiskey foxtrot. Nope, it's just Foxtrot 4. And I'm like, okay, that's France.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Like when I get like the really big DX calls, like I, even though they're coming through so strong, like I ask them to repeat their call like 10 times because I think I'm messing up. Like if they got two numbers in their call, I
oh
feel
yeah,
like
that
I feel like I'm messing something up here. Like I got Jamaica like
yeah.
the other weekend, and like I asked him like four times. I'm like, it sounds like he's saying six and then a five, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But that's what he was saying.
Yep, yep. And I'm really hoping when I go out east and I'm out, on the islands. And when I say the islands, I mean Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland. I'm gonna be significantly closer to Europe than we are here, right? Um, so I'm really hoping I can work quite a bit of Europe while I'm out there because I'm gonna be there, around the clock. I'm really hoping to be able to get some interesting Europe stations. But yeah, like when I set up at Lakeside in northern New York, right there on the Lake Ontario, I was just spinning around and I heard Parks on the air, and then he gave his call sign, and and it was the UK, it was Scotland,
Yeah, I've
and
got Scotland before.
so I was like, I hadn't even tuned yet, so I tuned really fast. I flipped off frequency, tuned up, went back, heard him again, park to park, park to park, and I think he gave me a 4-4 or 4-5, and I'm like, well, considering I literally been set up for less than 35 seconds when I heard him, and I went running across the parking lot. My wife was in the truck. I went running across the parking lot. She's looking at me. I went a 40-year-old guy, running across the parking lot does not look pretty. Um, I went charging on, and she's like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Hang on, hang on. I just got Scotland. This is my first Scotland, right?" So, um, those are always fun, and we're getting more and more countries now, which is awesome. And as those activators get out, I'm excited that everybody I've talked to is always excited about getting someone in the Caribbean, or even getting Puerto Rico from up here. Yeah, you're in Texas, getting Puerto Rico, okay, it's cool. But when you're up here in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Ontario, getting Puerto Rico is a little different.
Yeah,
You know, uh, so um,
yeah. I can remember last last April when I was in Florida, and I was at a park, and I got Scotland, Puerto Rico, and Spain all hunted me at one park, and I was flipping lid.
yeah, yeah,
But here's the thing, and that's another thing why I'm kind of excited to go back to Florida. You know, I got hills all around me. 20 meters, you can forget it. It's rare that you hear me. When I'm activating on 20 meters, you can guarantee I'm on top of the mountain somewhere in the park. But in Florida, pretty much the whole time I'm there, I'll be on 20 meters. Like I'll stay on 20 meters. So I'm going to get a lot of different stuff down there.
yeah. If
And
you don't mind, though, try 17 and 15. I tend to get Florida and Texas. Seems to be really good for me on 15 and 17 sometimes of the day. So I
and
definitely want to work you as many times as I can.
that's going to be another thing, because I'm not going to have my go-to. I'm not going to have my Eagle One because whether I'm flying or to train, it's too big.
Yeah.
But what I will have just came in the mail today.
A buddy pole.
Yeah, that's right. Got the
All
buddy
right.
stick. Got the buddy stick Pro. Gonna take it to Florida with me. I'll also have the Wolf River coils, which is what I used down there last year, and it did really good too. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I got the buddy stick to try out, and I'm going to do a comparison video while I'm down there, because people were talking about it the other night, wanted to know the differences and stuff like that of the Wolf River coils and the Buddy Stick Pro. So I'm going to do a comparison video.
Scott Keel November 3 Alpha. I think he's a Joe Bondi puppet. He's saying try 60 meters.
I have no problem.
I do all the bands. I have significant. Nah, significant is probably the wrong word. I have a lot of contacts across all the bands. And I guess part of that's because I have lots of locals, but even 80 meters, like I've worked you 80 meters a number of times. Um,
That's the one thing about the Wolf River coils. On the antenna itself, it says 10 to 80. I have did activations from 6 to 160 on that antenna.
yeah.
So I mean,
For some reason, my are you carrying an end fed with you as well, or just a buddy stick?
I'll probably have an infant with me too.
Yeah. It's so easy to take one.
Yeah.
I've actually so I have an 80 meter end fed, um, and it tunes up amazingly well on 6. Um, and it does 160, which kind of makes sense because it's that'd make it an end fed quarter wave, I guess.
Mm.
Um, I can't pump out 100 watts on 6 or 160. But if I keep it at under 50, I usually can do
Well,
a 2 to 1 or better. So
that's how the Eagle one is. 160 is iffy. Sometimes I might be able to get you on voice. Sometimes I can always get you on FT8 on
sure,
160,
yeah,
but sometimes voice is iffy. I've made a few park to parks and stuff like that. People wanting me to do 160 because they know I can, but it's a little iffy with that antenna.
yeah. Just I've done a couple of activations and used FT8, but I've never really hunted POTA. I've gotten a few just because I saw them. But last night I saw somebody actually spotted after I worked you on 80. I saw somebody spotted FT8 on 20 or 40. And I
It's
actually went looking for them, and I actually hunted an FT8 activation last night.
I have hunted a few, but it's hard
Yeah,
to like. It's so much easier for sideband to get them.
yeah,
But
yeah. So
well,
when do you go in? It's in February next month.
yeah. My club meeting is on February the 6th. I will leave on February the 7th, and probably return home on February 28th. So
Okay,
pretty much the month of February. It's
excellent.
gonna is gonna be ham radio, YouTube, make my channel bigger month.
Yeah. So James, a couple of my local guys, Tom V3THR and Brian V3XNS are asking some questions about the Eagle One. Brian actually uses an Eagle One as his primary, and he actually when he went up to Moosonee, which is I'm gonna get this wrong, like 17 hours north of here. That's what
uh,
he was using quite a bit, from
I
my
do not
understanding.
I do not use any unknown at all with my Eagle One. Everybody asks me what the black magic with my Eagle One is, and I cannot tell you. The only thing I use is a tuner, just a little MFJ tuner, and I have gotten contact from 6 to 160 uh, on the Eagle One. I mean, not 6 meter. I've only got one because the band is never open, but I've got plenty of 160 on there. I think probably 30 or 40 that I've tried.
Now are you running full 100 watts when you're doing that, or are you having to turn it back?
On 160, I think I was running like 70-ish watts.
I generally activate at 50 watts, but if I really want to, just hammer it out, I'll crank it up to 100 if I got the big battery.
Yeah, that's like when I took it out. Well, there was a guy he had a MFJ that kind of looks like an Eagle One, but it has a 9 to 1 on it, and this, that, and the other. And he's like, "Well, you've got an unknown on there. You have to." And I was like, "No, I'm telling you, I don't." And so his antenna just wouldn't do crap, and I pulled out mine and threw it up and hooked it to his radio, and he's like, "I'm buying one of these. This is awesome."
Yeah, I know Brian's really curious because he can't get his to tune without a 4 to 1 on 80, and it won't do 160 at all.
Really,
Yeah. What are you doing for counterpoises on your Eagle One?
my vehicle,
That's it? Just the body or the frame or?
just my vehicle. That is it.
Hmm.
I've even had some other guy because he'll be like, "Man, your sound is so good. Can you send me a picture of how you are grounding this to your vehicle?" I'm like, "You take the clip and clip it." But yeah, I'll send you a picture. There's no magic to it. The antenna is just I don't know if I got the magical one from the shop or what, but
Hey, Brian, he said no radials.
yeah, no radials. Just
You have a pickup truck, right?
I have a Nissan Armada, which is a very large SUV.
Yeah.
It is a 3-row SUV. It's a school bus pretty much.
Yeah, I'm
So
just thinking from the amount of surface area.
it's a good surface area. But now I have used the Eagle One on my buddy's pickup truck, K8 RKT, when I was teaching him how to activate. I have used it on that and had no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian and Tom and I, we all drive pickup trucks, so it's pretty similar surface area. And of course, mine has Brian and I actually both have aluminum bodies, so um, that shouldn't be that big of a deal for a ground plane. But like obviously, mag mounts are out for
Right,
sticks and stuff. But yeah,
right.
we Brian has no problem making contacts. He was up in Moosonee, like I said, which is quite a bit north of here. Like you have to get on a train because there's no road. You have to get on a train for like 5 hours uh, to get up there, and it's an ice road to get to the park, which is an island. Um, and he got 830 contacts while he was up there, really close to a kilo at an atno.
Nice.
So Brian, obviously we're always trying to improve our setups, but Brian doesn't have any problem making contacts.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna be interesting because I'm a different activator than I was when I went to Florida last year, and I'm used to a certain thing with the Eagle One. So using different antennas is gonna be. I'm curious what results I'm gonna get because I'm used to you're 40/9, you're 40/9.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a 40 meter when I don't have no space. I've got a couple 80 meters. Um, Tom and I we put some effort into tweaking the 80 meters, and we have homemade 49-to-1s, and we figured out a good length for the wire that works with those transformers specifically, um, and we've had some really good luck with them lately now that we've got them tweaked. And I love the wires because, whether it's trees or between buildings or flag post or lamp post or, with a pole and make an inverted V, uh, you know, um, inverted L's, slopers, there's so many options you can do with an end fed. Um, and Tom and I've actually, we put up a 40-meter dipole one time and just killed it with that. Um, so I'm gonna be playing with a lot of dipoles but the wires, they're nice. But I am working on I'll call it a DX clone ish antenna, but basically a wire vertical. Um, Not quite to the level of DX clone, just because a DX commander, I should say. Um, I'm looking for something that I can use when I don't have the room to put up a wire. Um, because I have a pickup truck, so I don't care if I have to carry, 20 of my military surplus poles to make a vertical. But yeah, we're continuing to experiment, and but that's part of the fun, right? Is we find different antennas work, and we're experimenting with orienting our antennas. Because I mean, as far as POTA goes, we're kind of north, so we want all of our traffic to go south, right? So.
Right.
Um, So I was just catching my chat, but yeah, we're always like, oh, if we run between those two trees, the slight directionality of a wire antenna, it's not a lot, but the slight direction, so it's fun. It's fun to experiment, and some of our local parks we go to enough, and we all share. Not Brian because he uses an Eagle One most of the time, but the rest of us that use wires, we share what we do, and the next guy can improve upon it. So we're continually. It's nice to have a little group of local activators that are going to the same parks and doing different things, and we have one guy that's a Wolf Ribble coil on the tripod, and then Brian's go-to is the Eagle One, and then Tom and I use wires and occasional ham sticks. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to making a wire vertical for those kinds of very specific situations, and then I'm also going to be making a set of dipoles because sometimes you can't beat a dipole.
Right. Absolutely.
You can't beat a resonant dipole. And I don't mind making it like I'm not worried about the CW band or running FT8 on the dipole. I'll make it sideband zone, and I'll even tweak it down to the general area of the U.S. general license area sideband. Although in a few weeks, hopefully, when I get my Canadian license, my sideband spectrum opens up quite a bit. But I'm probably going to stick within the U.S. general because, face it, that's where a lot of the POTA activity is.
I can't actually say that I've even made a single contact in the extra area since I've been an extra. I don't think I have. I don't pay attention now. If I just see somebody there, I'll go see if I hear them. You know what I'm saying? I don't pull out the old band chart and look and can I do that? But I don't think I've used it any. I know I've hunted a few times, but with no luck. For some DX, but that's about it.
Yeah. So, and the local guys, they're always they'll go and if they're trying to get the local group, they'll go somewhere outside of the general band because they can. It's like, okay, I'm happy that all 6 of you work each other, but I'll wave at you from this side of 14.225, right?
And that's crazy because I remember when I very first started activating, and like I don't know if I didn't know what I was doing or what, but like I couldn't hit anybody in West Virginia or Ohio like I was going right over top of them. And now I have such a hardcore crew that catches me here in West Virginia and here in Ohio, and I don't even know what I'm doing different.
The propagation, in my opinion, over the 6 months I've been doing POTA, the propagation is getting better. I've for me to get 17 and 12 meters, Texas, Oregon, BC, all the way the other side, I've been doing regularly. We do coast to coast, Canada, coast to coast in the U.S. That's pretty regular now. So the propagation is definitely improving, and it should keep improving over the next couple of years. So
yeah, that's the thing. When I'm out in a park, I can get I'll get California all day long. They'll be hunting me, but when I'm hunting them from home, forget it. it ain't happening. I don't know if they're all QRP. I know Joseph Collins is running QRP out there, even though I am jealous of that Lab 599.
I've actually I made a QRP. So Tom and I were at a park, and we were doing some testing. So I turned my radio down to 5 watts, which is the lowest the FTDX10 will go. And he had his L-craft on like a milliwatt or 300 milliwatt, or something less than half a watt. So we didn't fry each other's front ends. And we packed up, and the next activation, I think it was even the next day, I made a couple QSOs on 5 watts because I forgot to turn the power up.
And
I was like, holy crap. I think it was actually, it wasn't that far. I think it was, it might've been Ohio. So just across the lake really. But, I think it was Ohio, one of them on 5 watts. I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay. That was accidental. But like when I wasn't getting into other people that normally hear me right away at 50 watts, that's when I started looking, going, oh, I'm still on 5 watts,
Right. Well, I mean, I do some QRP, and I'll be doing a lot more because I'm gonna try to get at least 10 sodas in this year, and all of those will be QRP.
Yeah,
I'm not.
some of the places I'm going on the planned trip, there's a small chance it doesn't happen. There's some variables there, but if everything goes as planned, obviously some of the places I'm going are islands on the air, and there are a couple of potential summits. So I'm gonna have to read up on. I've never actually activated intentionally an island or a summit, so I'm gonna have to read up on those and make sure I follow the rules for those. So
Joseph Collins says he's going to run QRO this weekend. So yeah,
excellent. Yeah.
even if I am in the park, I don't care. I'll stop and hunt you, Joseph, just to get a California hunt in.
Yeah.
I have listen. There has been times when I've been in the park and I literally I don't want it as a park to park. I just want to hunt it, and I'll hunt something from the park. And even though it technically counts if I park to park it, sometimes I just want it as a hunt, and I've done it before.
Yeah, I actually, when I was living in Pennsylvania still, I actually went to a local park, because I was trying to figure out if the noise was my neighborhood, my house, or it was in my setup. Um, um, yeah, right, Vance. Well, that's great because I have a battery pack, so it's all good. Um, and the pole can tie to a tree. Um, but yes, I actually went out and hunted from a park. It didn't activate because I didn't want to. I was only there to get a couple contacts. I didn't want to have a failed activation. So yeah, I've done that too, and you know, I knew it was a low. I knew it was a low noise floor. Um, so I was able to actually find I had a problem in I ended up making a choke for my antenna line, my feed line. Right, that would solve the problem. But yeah,
I don't have that problem with summits here, Vance, because all of them I have to hike to. they're,
well,
they're
that'd be a really really long extension cord from your vehicle.
Yeah, I don't have that problem at all. Although my first ever soda video, I had somebody say, "How did you get all that stuff up the hill? No wonder you were huffing and puffing."
Yeah.
I have consolidated, since then.
Yeah, Tom and I actually for our activation on Sunday with the tent and everything, we actually pulled out the wagon and put everything in the wagon, and because it was a little bit of a walk, not a big one, but yeah, it was. I mean, we wanted to run high power, so we took our 60-pound batteries. You know,
So I know you're going for mostly QSOs and trying to stack up on the to getting your kilos this weekend. But how many parks are you going to try that in?
uh, well, for this week, I'm just going to do one per day. If I find that the contacts are petering out, like in the afternoon, like I don't think this is going to be a problem, but there's not enough hunters to get me. I might move to another park, but I don't. Normal weekends, I don't run out of pile up and people to contact, and besides if I do multiple bands, um, so my plan is, uh, weather permitting, I'm going to go to a park that's an hour and 10 minutes away all day. There's another park 20 minutes from that if I do need to go in the afternoon, I can go and pile some on there. And then Sunday I'll go to the third park that's up there, and if I need to, if it peters out, I'll go back to that middle park and pile on kind of a half activation. When I say a half activation, I mean, to me, a full activation is 200 plus contacts. Um, so if I go back and I only got a couple hours and I get 100 or so, I'll go back the second day and hit it. But I'm trying to do those three parks at the same time because they're so close together, and it's the whole cost of gas thing. If I'm driving an hour and there's three parks within 20 minutes of each other, I want to do all of those while I've
Okay.
already spent that money to drive there.
I'm going to have to keep an eye on your QSO numbers. I don't want you catching me. I'm trying to make Vance actually say my name once.
on it, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I actually set up a spreadsheet so that I can keep track even before they go in POTA of all my parks. Now, once you hit 250, it goes on your kilo counter on your page.
Right.
But I have some that I haven't gotten up to the 250 range yet. So I made a spreadsheet, and it also helped me figure out and plan. Like I said, I basically have two sets of parks. I have one that's kind of north and east, and then one that's straight west of me. That's two groups of parks for me. So when I go do the do the kilo kickover day, I'll probably go and a bunch of the ones I can do late shift. So I'll probably go and do late shift on those, have a nap, and then drive up to the ones. Because obviously, if you have too much driving time, you're not going to get to all those parks. Because we're talking about
Right.
going 12 locations in a single day. It will be my biggest robe as well.
Yeah, that
So
like it gets rough to I mean, I don't have here in West Virginia, I don't have a place that I can road that many parks in a single day. It's too much driving.
yeah.
Whereas, Justin in Florida can do 50 some parks in a weekend. Uh, but I
Paul Hopman, is that question for me? What parks am I doing?
well, let's see who he's asking the question to.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start answering. I would do Chief Logan Friday evening for the start of the Support Your Parks. That is my home park, and that is where I'll start. And Saturday, I'm either going on a. He's saying yes, so he's talking to you. I'll let you answer.
Wow, I can't remember the designators off the top of my head, but it's Indian Point Provincial Park, Balsam Lake Provincial Park, and Cardin Alvar Conservation Area. They're towards Kawartha Lakes, east of Aurelio, which is north of me. So it's I have to go around a lake, either the bottom or around the top. But that's my plan at the moment, is to go do those this weekend. That, like I said, weather permitting. If it's crap weather, then I have lots of local parks I can just go and plug.
Yeah, that's the same, because if that storm happens to start moving in earlier than Sunday, like it's supposed to be, I will just stay here local and just pound numbers like you're doing. Because I have no problem pounding. Like I said, I would like to hit 10K in Chief Logan. Maybe around the time I hit the Eagles Nest, maybe.
How many are you at Chief Logan right now? Hang on. I'm loading the page.
Okay. Yeah, you had the page.
28, 23.
28, 23. Yeah, I knew I was close to 3,000.
And look at that. Both the Hotel Alphas, BTD, and XLS, and AB8LL. Yeah, all those guys you get. Yeah, 100 QSOs. Yeah. Has anybody else activated this park besides you? Yeah, I guess a few people.
Yeah, there's
Alpha India 4 Foxtrot. Okay,
yeah,
I get him a lot.
He's got
Reed, of course, I get a lot.
Yeah, Bobby's got a couple there, and the first person activated was somebody from somewhere else. Even they wasn't even from here.
Yeah, we've got that up here in Ontario. We had somebody from the States, and I say that with a little bit of irony, being that I'm an American up here. Whiskey 8 Tango Alpha Mike, one of the POTA team actually. He did a couple of Ontarios. Yeah. So and then we got Joe Bondi. Obviously, he's a Ontario guy. VE3 GKT. He came up here and did quite a few of the parks in this area. But we've gotten, I guess in the last, I'll claim part of the responsibility, but basically since I moved back here in September, the local guys have really, Vince, I'm gonna have to find that one and go make sure that I take it away from you if you own it. Komoko, where is that? The local guys have really stepped it up, and we have one. He had never activated. He'd hunted quite a bit. He had never activated, and then I took him out with me on the autumn Support Your Parks, and now he activates like every day, every other day. And he doesn't do big activations, but 25, 30, 35. He does a lot of digital. Um, but he goes out there and he's just plugging away. So he's building his numbers, and he's getting out of the house in the winter, which is something to be applauded for anybody doing that in this kind of climate. Um, and plugging away, and he's every it might take him 5 or 6 visits to get 100 contacts, but there's Brian just put in the parks that I'm talking about up here in Central Ontario. That but yeah, I mean, we have enough activators here that we actually coordinate with each other. Like for Support Your Parks weekend, it's like, okay, you're going to that park, you're going to that park, because we don't want to end up in the same park, because we all can drive to so many different ones. We can get park to parks with each other, but also we can activate more parks by planning a little bit and not be doubling up for the hunters, right? So,
I'll tell you one pile up that I'm looking forward to when I'm in Florida is when me and K8MRD sit down and do our activation together. I figure that's going to be a pile up because he gets a big crowd and I get a big crowd, and some of them are the same, but we get a lot of different people too that seem to hunt us. So that's going to be an interesting activation, I think.
Oh, see, I might have to change my plans now. London's a couple hours away from me, 4-ish. West of London. Oh, that might be. Yeah, it's probably not Support Your Parks weekend. Tom, Brian, do we feel like a road trip in a week or two?
Vance said he only got like 20 some contacts.
Yeah. I talk about owning a park, and all I mean by that is I like if somebody's got 70, if I go, I'm going to get 80, because I want them to see that and go, I can go and get 10 or 15 to be on top again. That when I say owning, I just mean I had the most QSOs in the park.
The most in one activation is what you're saying.
All right, it looks like some of the Barry POTA activator crew might be going over towards London soon.
Because as far as QSOs, I don't think anybody will ever own Chief Logan besides me. Even after I'm long gone, I plan on the Chief Logan POTA legacy.
Yeah. It's like I hope that, like, if I do this, if I can kick over these 15 kilos in a day, I'm hoping somebody else says, "Oh, I want to do 5 kilos in a day," and they do something like I want people to see that, there's other things you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Make up your own goals and your own achievements.
For example, I'm doing Delaware in a week this year.
Right. And I want to make sure I know when you're doing it, and
because you have the opportunity to hunt every park in Delaware that week, because I will be there.
And I've only activated a quarter of them on that 1 day row. So you're gonna beat me as far as activated entities in Delaware pretty easily. But I want to make sure I know when you're doing that, and hopefully I can go out to a park where I have better environment than hunting from home. Right. So I'll go out. I'll go set up in the farmer's field. I know a few of the local people that have fields. Let me put it that way. I wouldn't call them farmers, but I know some people that have 10 or 15 acres. I go set up in the middle of it. It doesn't have to be a park, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Hayden needs Delaware for Worked All States. We'll get you that. I need Montana. If there's anybody in Montana,
I think I need Montana.
I don't know if it's against POTA rules, but I'd send you a gas card to help.
Hey, you send me a gas card, I'll go to Montana and activate. I have no problem going.
If it wasn't for the fact that it cost me $225 US to get back into Canada because the COVID test, I'd go to Montana. But I don't want to pay that every time I cross the border. I got to pay that $225 for that test.
Well, you're going to pay more than that to send me to Montana and for gas. I told you I get about 12 miles a gallon.
Yeah, yeah.
You may want to fly me there. Send me on a train.
Joseph Collins, you're West Coast, aren't you?
Yeah, he's California.
And yes, Vance, that ham radio outlet knows me by name, and they know me by call sign because I'm that guy from the West Coast. Yeah, I've bought 3 radios there and several antennas, and yeah, that.
Joseph, I'll be in DC this year too, so we can do that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be in New Hampshire this year or not.
When I go on my trip out east, depending on the border status, the most efficient route is to drive straight through New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. So if border crossings permit, I haven't activated Maine either. I did New Hampshire and Vermont already, but I might be driving through that area. In which case, I will make sure everybody knows.
Will I go through New Hampshire on the way to Acadia?
Yeah, you will. Any reasonable route you would.
Well, then I may be in New Hampshire this year.
You could have. Let's see. Could you avoid New Hampshire? No, you can't avoid New Hampshire. The question is, how far away do you have to drive to get to a park? Because there's a spot that I looked at that's because Vermont or New Hampshire and Maine connected this triangle of the curve of the coast. The crossing from, I guess it's Massachusetts. Hang on, let me pull up a map so I don't lie. I'm pretty good at geography, but my memory is fading. That's my story. I'm sticking to it anyways. At least I know where the states are. Okay, so there is a park. Come on, load. Yeah, you have to drive through New Hampshire. When you go from Massachusetts, there's a small section of New Hampshire, and then there's Maine. There's a park there, but it's in town. I think it's a historical marker. It might be a historical building or something. I did not attempt it, or I would have gone to Maine. Instead, I did. I was staying in west-ish Massachusetts, and I went in a day. I did a park in West New Hampshire, Eastern Vermont, and Northwest Massachusetts, kind of a triangle there. So, yeah.
All right, so Vance is trying to make me spend money in all these states with no sales tax. So Joseph Collins, you're sending me ham radio outlet money to go to New Hampshire and activate for you.
Hey, I don't see anywhere in the POTA rules that bribery is not okay. It's supporting your park activators, right?
That's right. Support your park activators.
Yeah,
that's
SYPA.
That is every weekend for me. Support your park activator. I
would love for somebody to win $1 gajillion in the lottery and make an activator fund trust or something.
Let me tell you, if I won one of those big lotteries, I would do like POTA scholarships for people.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, this month is a POTA party in Iceland. The first 20 people to convince me are coming.
Absolutely. Well, we have went for an hour and 30 minutes.
Well, of course, it's POTA.
So that's what happens when we start talking POTA. Had a good crowd tonight. Good to see Vance in there. I appreciate him coming out. I really enjoyed doing the live stream with him, and hopefully, Vance, are you going to Hamcation? I don't know if he is or not. I hope he is. I'd like to see him down there. But anyway, thank you very much to James and Evan and the one who somebody sent me a slice of pizza tonight. All that money is going to go to either my plane, train, or busmobile trip because I've got to get that scheduled and out of the way and that way I know exactly the exact date I'm leaving and everything. So I appreciate that, guys. No, Vance is not going. Well, that sucks. How about Dayton? You going to Dayton? Anyway, while we're waiting on him to answer. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. Make sure and smash the like button if you haven't already. I got some big plans for this channel, and it's starting next month in February. I have a ton of cool videos that's going to be happening when I'm in Florida, including K8MRD. I'm going activating with Bill, Mr.
NYN.
Yeah, I can't, dude. He is just he kills me. Like, and he works too. I mean, yes, he gets to do activate while he's at work, but like trying to keep up with him. I don't know, man. He is a machine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing like 2 and 3 parks a day, and he's just pulls away.
He's laughing at you the whole time.
Like he is a activating machine. That's for sure. I guess I'm gonna have to retire or become a full-time YouTuber to keep up with him. But
Vance, teach them how to log. That's all I can say. Teach them how to log while they're young.
But anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate it. It's been a good time. Make sure and get out this weekend and support your parks. Either hunt or activate or do both. I will do both. I'll definitely make sure and do some hunting as well. But we all know that the majority of my time is going to be activating. And everybody keep trying to activate or hunt a park every single day. Yep. Even if you've messed up already, still just see how many you can get this year, and support everybody and get out there and do me one favor. Be kind to your activators when you're calling to them. If they're calling for somebody else, please do not try to stuff your call in there, because they're just going to move you to the end of the log, and I'm telling you from experience. But thanks for showing up, everybody. I appreciate it, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for sharing my adventure with me. 73.